everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Hello, greetings and salutations. Thanks for lending me your attention for a few minutes as we continue to explore our relationship with our higher self, different things that you can do, that anyone can do to deepen and strengthen your relationship with your higher self. My name is Reverend Phoenix Coffin Williams, and I am the first priest of the Correllian tradition. We are a wildly, remarkably non denominational magical tradition that has its origins right here in the United States and North America. We are an initiatory path. So, those who are interested in deepening their understanding of metaphysics and who feel a call to the clergy, the Correllian tradition does offer initiatory paths as well as non initiatory paths that allow you to deepen your relationship with yourself and the universe around you. You can get started on that at www.witchschool.com. But aside from that, for the past couple of episodes, and really this one might be like number 4 or 5, we've been talking about a central component of Correllian theology, which is known as the higher self. Our higher self is a part of our soul. Maybe it's referred to as the oversoul, and it is the part of us that dwells all the way up in the heavens, all the way up in the highest planes of existence with the other divinities that we could think of. Our higher self is a face on the diamond of the divine that we refer to when we conceptualize God. You do not have to have an initiation into any system whatsoever to build upon a relationship with your higher self. And in fact, it is your relationship with your higher self and the interaction between your higher self and your lower self that makes it possible for literally anyone to practice magic and participate in magic and psychism. So, magic is what we do to impact the reality, and psychism is the feedback that we get back from the universe and from nature and from reality. Those two things are two sides of the same coin. But yes, your higher self, everyone has one because you were born. It cannot be, wow, phone call. Popular this early in the morning. Interestingly enough, that was my other half, my sister Alyssa. Womp womp. What was I saying? But yes, everybody has a higher self. You have one because you were born. It cannot be taken away from you. It cannot be obscured or anything like that. Oh, she calling me back. Like, really, sis? You know I hate when people do that. When they don't get me. So they call me right back. Broadcasting live. What's up? Boom. All right, sorry about that, y'all. So everyone has a higher self. It cannot be taken away from you. You cannot be barred from your communications with it. However, the things that you believe about yourself and about the spiritual world will impact your experience with your relationship with your higher self. So if you believe that the magic of some disgruntled witches could interrupt your connection with your higher self, then you are likely to interpret some pauses in spirituality, some low moments, some stagnancy as potentially that. But at the end of the day, nothing can disrupt your connection to your higher self. You can build an entire altar to your higher self as a way of maintaining your own wellness and your self-esteem. That's something that I have been saying very frequently, is that having a space to your higher self, um, to uplift yourself, to motivate yourself, to manage your energies is going to be remarkable for your self esteem. Having a place where you store tools that you use to cleanse yourself or rid yourself of painful or harmful energies or talismans, or gifts that have been made for you can be put here to charge, and they are there for you to use them when the time comes. This one right here is my higher self altar. It sits in between my ancestor altar, and then over here, you can see a little bit of it, but not all of it. That is my altar to the Neteru, the Egyptian divinities. And maybe I'll showcase some work with that later. But like right now, um, really wanting to focus on the importance of the higher self, mostly because it is very overlooked in a lot of the stuff that I see online. I see a lot of wonderfully insightful and helpful metaphysicians, spiritualists, practitioners of all calibers, um, on the internet, but I'm not in, in very many circles, in Gnostic circles, in occult circles, in traditional circles, in Wiccan circles. I am seeing a lot of talk about divinities, God, goddess, various exercises you can do, spiritual baths and cleansings, and so on and so forth. But I'm not really seeing much discussion about the natural cultivation of a relationship with your higher spirit. Yesterday, I said, and I do want to repeat today, that you have your higher self or your oversoul that exists in all these other planes of existence. And then we have our undersoul or our lower self, which is our personality, which is our quirks, which is our temperament, which is our preferences, the jokes that we like and dislike, the food that we like and dislike. All of those things represent our our undersoul or our lower self. And it very much is tied to our pleasure principle here in the physical world. Um, think about the things that activate our temperament, for better and for worse. It's usually something to do with being pleased or displeased. Here at the altar of your higher self, you can say prayers for yourself. You can say prayers for your day, your week, your month, your year. You can pray for your family. You can pray for the world. You can pray for your temple. You can pray for your entire tradition. You can pray for a specific event that's happening in the world. Um, the past couple of days, we've been doing kind of like a guided meditation that is meant to charge the energetic body and construct a shield. So, daily shielding can also happen here at the higher self altar. The prayers for connecting with your higher self on a daily basis don't actually have to be very complicated. I invoke my higher self. I align myself with my higher self. I part the veil so that my higher self and I are united and complete. Using only affirmations, speak into existence what you want to have happen with your connection to your higher self, and the connection responds. Refrain from using words like not, non, no, un. Um, so, like, instead of saying, like, I am unbothered, you might say, I am satisfied. Or instead of saying, like, I am unbothered by the criticisms of others, you might say, I find the criticisms of others amusing and laughable. I would also refrain from using the phrase undivided. I would use the word united instead. Or I would use the word complete instead. But only affirmations. I attract money easily. I attract money effortlessly. I attract opportunities wherever I go. I make the best out of all of the opportunities that I am made aware of. My intuition guides me easily throughout the day. I trust my intuition and the signs that I receive to guide me easily through life. These are all examples of affirmations that only speak into the positive. And for anyone who might be watching who is familiar with the third degree manual, you understand the importance and the emphasis that Corellians place on defining ourselves in the positive, only talking about what we do and not really acknowledging the stuff that we don't do. And that is a phenomenal way to use energy the right way, by the way. So if any of you who are watching might be into yoga at all, like that brahmacharya, the right use of energy, speaking about yourself only in the positive, or speaking about the stuff that you do, and really kind of ignoring or relegating to non-conversation the stuff that you don't do, is a wonderful way to conserve energy. Aside from the morning activities and the, charging the energetic body and the energy work, which is absolutely wonderful to do at your higher self altar, you can also contemplate your relationships to other divinities. Get yourself into a meditative state, start to contemplate your relationship to your ancestors and how you behave in that relationship. You can contemplate your relationship to your patron, and any of their relatives that might also walk with you, and your behaviors in those relationships. And you can use the insight from your higher self to help you recognize, oh, maybe X, Y, and Z might be helpful for this relationship. Hey, maybe ABC might be helpful for this kind of relationship. Remember that working that is an ongoing thing? Consider adding another candle at this time, or consider doing, this thing at this time. Opening yourself up for that psychism, the feedback from your higher self about what's happening in your life is going to be ultimately beneficial. Singing, dancing, practicing your instruments, all of those are practicing poetry. If you're in school and you have oral presentations that you have to do, practicing your oral presentations at your higher self altar will ultimately be beneficial for you, the work that you are doing in the real world, and for your connection to your higher self. So do not be afraid to allow your higher self to be that audience and that, divine critique that you can rely on. Because remember, your higher self absolutely wants everything that is the best for you. So any automatic negative thoughts, any unhelpful advice or feedback, that's not your higher self. Your higher self grants you grace all day, every day, at all times. Now, if you are one of the people who cannot bring yourself to accept that that is here for you, go ahead and do that shadow work, because your higher self is here for you and you alone, and it is okay to accept and nurture that. To close out the discussion today, I want to talk about the primordial divinity, the potential that was there before all creation. Many, many, many cultures and mythologies refer to a mass or a substance or a type of divinity that existed before the first created God. In the Egyptian pantheon, Nun, N-U-N, Nun is the primordial waters that contained every single potentiality. This divinity, this personification of all possibilities, was referred to as the waters of Nun. And even though every single thing sprang from Nun, from the Egyptian cosmology, there was no temples, there were no priesthoods, and there was no overt recognition or honoring or worshiping of Nun. Except if you understood the way that the Kemetic priests represented the mysteries in their practices. Because noon was the primordial, primeval waters that contained all potentiality, they considered that every body of water, every lake, every pool, every spring was a personification of noon. And so even the pools in the temple or the cups and bowls of water on the altars, those were embodiments of noon, and those were the things that really kind of lubricated the manifestation of anything in reality, right? It is through the waters. And if you study any of the life sciences, you know that water is actually quite miraculous in the way that it breaks stuff down and can like reorganize and what have you. You study the life sciences and like the water in our bodies, the water that buoys us when we are in our mother's wombs, like all of that is all noon. All of it is noon. And so when they related to water in anything spiritual or in any part of their lives, it was like a nod to that power of noon. And if any of y'all are watching, if you're interested, if you want to, come back for more, if you want to continue the discussion about morning devotionals or daily devotionals or what have you, we can continue this discussion. But contemplating the origins of creation is an act of devotion. Reading the mythology that starts with, okay, first there was nothing, and then there was something, right? Like that starts the universal understanding of our common origins. Like I said earlier, every culture, all of the creation stories that I have become aware of start with this amorphous mass of everything potential. And that's everything. That's literally the figure, that's the lumina scott, that's the infinity symbol. And then from it comes one. It's a story of differentiation. It's the story of humanity climbing out of the waters. It is the story of the universe coming into existence. It is the story of everything becoming one, multiplying to two, becoming three, stretching all the way out back towards its origin. Reading stories like this, engaging in path workings like this, absolutely increases your ability to work magic. It increases your relationship with your higher self. Again, that's something that everyone can do. And I really think like you will benefit yourself and your self-esteem. So capital S self and self-esteem by engaging yourself in a regular practice that is meant to benefit you and only you. Especially if you believe that your purpose here, part of your purpose here, is to help others and is to help advance humanity at an evolutionary stage. Like you definitely want to make sure that you are at your best to be doing this work. And so before I cut us off for today, I will also suggest that maybe praying for peace, participating in the peace prayer efforts that are happening might also be a wonderful thing to do with your higher self. If you don't know the peace prayer, I'll say it right now. I pray for peace. I pray for love. I pray for stability. I pray that love may overcome fear. And I send energy of love and peace for all the people of the world. I create it. I accept it. I receive it by my will. So mote it be. That prayer is written in a bunch of places on the internet. It's in a bunch of our Corellian groups and social medias. But just consider, like, even that, invoking your higher self, aligning yourself with your higher self, uniting yourself with your higher self, and saying the peace prayer for the benefit of the whole world is a great way to start your day or end your day if it's a nighttime routine, or continue your day if you do it multiple times a day. And if you're someone who is maybe on the path to clergyhood or in the clergyhood, maybe you do already pray multiple times a day. Thank you for your attention today, and I will be back to do this at least one more time this week. Again, thank you for your attention, and until next time, blessed be, my loves.